Okay, we're back to green. And the number looks normal now.
Okay. Looks like you're good now.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was probably trying to play catch up from all the frames that was dropped. And it was, dude, it was like overloaded.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Sweet.
I think we're good. I'm just going to tell everybody to refresh stream. Because it should be fine. Oh, that's weird. For some reason, it's not connected to Twitch now? Of course not.
Give it a second.
Technical difficulties. At least it's working again. I don't know.
Yes.
Turning it off and turning it back on again seemed to work.
That's
Yeah,
good.
okay.
Easy
When in
fix.
doubt.
That's good.
When in doubt, turn it off and turn it back on again.
I think we should do story time.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds good.
And our
All
perfect
right.
place to do story time.
Where's that, sir?
Where?
I know where it's
We
not.
give you
It's not in the new area.
Yeah.
'Cause we can't do it together. I know it's not there.
Ooh.
Unless we got lucky. Nope.
I'll wait until Kiba gets wherever he's going to be.
Yeah, I'm
Kiba's
here.
got a surprise for us. Okay, let's
Hey,
go.
Kira knows me so well.
We're there. Hey, we
Good job.
Look at this. We made it together.
Yep, that's great. Yep, we did it.
We did it. Yes. Finally.
We cleared all the aliens.
We cleared all of them. Yeah, see, that's how good we are. We killed all of
Yes.
them. No
Yes.
more
Right
aliens.
back, everybody. We'll take a break.
Okay. We'll take a break. We'll have some
I'll be
story
muted.
time, and then we'll probably go play some golf after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Dance time.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you what's about, and if you have your off time, you can farm it and all.
Right on. Okay.
It was
Sounds
fun.
good. We'll see everybody
I'll be
in a
muted.
little bit. Okay.
I'll be muted the entire story.
Sweet.
Okay, I am back. What did I miss?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Everyone's still AFK.
Oh, okay. I'm the first one back.
You didn't miss much.
Okay, welcome back, Heba.
Welcome back. Yeah.
Yeah, welcome back. I just got the boar tusks.
What?
Oh, wow. Nice.
I was killing the fat boar, and I just got the rare item that he drops, and I never got it.
Shenanigans.
Well, no, the fact that you never got it, congrats then, because that's awesome.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. I
This is
don't
funny.
know what I'm gonna do with it. I'll go wear it just for the just because. Just for story time.
There they are.
I look so hideous.
Yeah, that doesn't really work too well with the rest of the outfit, but you know, it's all good.
What the heck? Tusk?
Yeah, you got the boar tusks.
It looks so hideous.
You got some rotten teeth there, man.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I prefer my hood. Thank you very much.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
Well, everybody's back, so I guess it's... Oh, yeah, the BRB is still up. It is. There. It's gone. There we go. All right. Everybody's back now, so... It's story time! By him. All right, so...
I'll be muted.
Okay. I got a couple of articles and a couple of personal stories tonight, too, because there's a lot of stuff that's happened in the last few weeks that are pretty interesting. And go ahead and start. We have an animal story Kiba has for us. Also, we'll go over the Adventure Quest article that got posted, too, but we'll start with the animal story.
It's a big read.
What's that? A big read for the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, definitely.
Without a doubt. Okay, so... I'm gonna have a seat. There we go. All right, so... This is an incredibly... this animal story is incredibly Canadian. It's very Canadian. Check this out. A beaver caused Canada's biggest ever internet outage. Right? Yep. It says here, chalk it up to bad luck or even bad timing. Sometimes craziest things happen when least expected. Something that a few hours and a few towns and an entire province in Canada had to learn the hard way last week, as a fluke accident in nature caused many homes to be in disarray. Much of this had to do with a lone beaver that somehow wound up creating the largest internet outage ever for the country. To top it all off, this doesn't seem to be that remarkable of a situation for many people familiar with the wildlife of the area. According to a report from The Bite, news source prized itself highlighting the latest futuristic science and tech news. Apparently a beaver created headaches for much of northern British Columbia, contended with a mass internet outage in the area. Per CTV News in Vancouver, one single beaver in Canada had many residents of northwestern British Columbia deprived of internet and cell phone service for much of June 7th. Landlines were also affected for what was reported to be about 8 hours of lost service. Stack reports Beaver, by all accounts, chewed a tree down so much that it eventually toppled over onto a fiber optic cable line, causing the outage felt by much of the northern British Columbia area. Preposterous and very Canadian as this story sounds, lots of residents of the province in Canada were not amused. As stated by the Stack official on the ground in the area, commented, "I wouldn't be a rich man if I had a nickel for every beaver outage, but they do happen." Tooth marks were seemingly found at the scene of the crime, resulted in investigators assuming the outage in Canada was the work of the beaver must have chewed through the tree. While sounding absurd, it's not the first time something like this has occurred. Whole other beaver was also to blame for a similar internet outage in April 2021. Close to 900 residents found themselves without service for most of the day in Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia. The internet service provider TELUS spoke to CBC News when the first incident happened, stated it was bizarre and uniquely Canadian turn of events. Like most ongoing developments in areas around the world, Canada is no stranger to turning once desolate pieces of land into buildings and structures of the future. Messing with the groundwork of existing wildlife areas to install cables and power lines, animals of the region are bound to mix in with their surroundings. May not happen every day, but it's perfectly understandable from a creature rodent like a beaver could disrupt an entire town's way of life by doing what they know best. Chew and gnaw their way to survival. Till a more permanent solution. Yeah?
It must be the shovel lady's minion.
Yeah, right? Remember the shovel lady? Anybody remember that?
Where she broke a fiber optic cable.
Yeah. Where was that? Like Armenia or something like that?
It was one of them. It was Armenia or something like that. But
yeah,
she got out of the hometown.
Yeah, she was digging. Yeah, she was digging, and a shovel broke an internet cable. Took out like a whole country's internet.
It was by the train tracks too, and all that.
Yeah, it says here until a more permanent solution is put into place to work around some of the natural occurrences, it may not be surprising to read more about some of these unique commotions coming to light in the not-so-distant future. But yeah, I remember that story. We talked about that on this stream a couple years ago about the shovel lady.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one good hit with a spade, and bam, outwent an entire country's internet.
Country with one.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Whole countries run through one cable. Okay.
Well, it's a small country.
Oh, okay.
You'd be surprised.
Is Canada a country?
Canada is a country. Do you know that like population of Canada is less than the population of the state of California?
Yeah.
Most of the people that live in Canada live in by the border of the U.S.
Right. In the major cities. Yeah. Toronto, Montreal.
Nothing.
Yeah. As big as Canada is, the population is about the size of California.
It's all tundra.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to think about.
A tundra is a form of desert.
All that space and their population's only the same as California.
It's an ice desert.
Yeah.
It's just interesting.
Yeah.
It's just another reason to not really count Canada as a country. That's all I'm saying. I don't mean to get too political, but I'm not a big fan of like most of what Trudeau's been saying the last couple of years. They're not good things in my opinion, but that's why South Park was like, blame Canada. They're not a real country anyway.
I mean,
speaking of, oh yeah, we forgot about that. Well, we didn't get time to talk about that. That could kind of be our tech story for the night. Tim Hortons got in trouble. Actually, we did talk about this the other week, didn't we? Tim Hortons got into a big thing about spying on people in their app.
Oh.
Yeah.
But Tim Hortons, people think it's actually not a Canadian company. They're just massively in Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
People think they're like a Brazilian or Spanish company or something.
Right, they're just really big in Canada, so everyone kind of counts them as a Canadian county or company.
Do you know the company Overwolf?
Yes.
Do you know where they function at?
No.
They function at in Israel, I think.
Israel, okay.
But they do all the work in the U.S.
Yeah. Speaking of Canadian fails, a few months ago, I don't know if you guys heard about it, like Reddit had this thing where people could draw 1 pixel at a time.
Yep. Oh, they couldn't draw the Canadian flag.
Yeah, the Canadians screwed up the Canadian flag. They were trying to make the maple leaf Canadian flag. All kinds of art like came and went because you could, like, basically anybody could paint 1 pixel like every hour or something like that. So like the whole idea was to get groups of people to make a picture. You'd coordinate and form a picture.
The second easiest flag to draw.
Well, yeah, short of like just like 3 bars or something, like Italy
Japan
or something.
Is just a dot.
Right. I'd say that you've got like the Japanese flag, and then you've got like the flags that are just like 3 different colors, like Italy and stuff. Yeah. Those are like your easiest flags. The maple leaf isn't that difficult.
Not really.
And they screwed it up multiple times.
It was legit hilarious.
It was hilarious.
It's a time lapse of how many times he messed up.
Yeah. Like, come on. Oh, Canada.
And afterwards, the whole site was
Uh-huh.
site was nuked
Yeah.
because people were putting big YouTubers were marketing or advertising or something in there.
Right. Yep. People were doing all kinds of stuff. They were advertising, you name it, doing all kinds of stuff. Well, because they knew the time lapse would be pretty much immortalized on video, you know. Because it was a thing that it's there and gone, and like you could even draw over other people's pixels, and that was the whole thing.
I'll be fishing, so just
Okay.
continue.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about the Adventure Quest 3D post that was put up this weekend. There is a post here on aq3d.com, Adventure Quest 3D Special Weekend Report. This is a long post, but it highlights a lot of interesting stuff. It says here a novel's worth of better communication. It's about right. Do we want to read this word for word, or do we just want to kind of go over the pieces?
I say go over the pieces because we're here for word for word. We're here forever.
Yeah. Okay. So they had a thing called the Great Lab Plague of 2022. Basically, what happened is everybody got sick at different times, and so it just meant everybody. Yeah.
That's why the Nullgath got delayed.
Yeah, that's why there's been delays and stuff, because everybody
Oh.
getting sick in waves. Yeah. But it's been a mix of things. Like it says here, ear and sinus thing. Other people, I know they mentioned COVID. I don't know if that was one of them. But yeah, people getting sick. Just off and on.
He was negative.
Right.
So he was negative.
But there's a severe gas leak. The water heater blew out. The roof sprung a leak. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff, like, what didn't happen, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pretty nuts. Oh. Yeah, that's crazy. But, you know, they got through it. It's just one of them kind of goofy things.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So, Nullgath. That's the next topic they have here.
Pretty much just the next. We go to them as expansions, just call them expansions.
Right. It says here that it touches and twists on themes from the Nullgath storyline found in the previous games. Wanted to do an interesting spin on it, like we did Ashfall and the Dragon Slayers. So it says
because they don't match up to the roads.
Right. Now, here's something interesting. It says they had at least one team member absolutely refuse to work on this. Interesting, yeah. It's kind of a weird thing, but yeah. They're saying, though, it's a pretty dark release.
It is the darkest that they're saying.
Right.
Dark and red.
Yeah. It says, do not touch on a religious or political subject matter in this game. It certainly delves into a gray area. First area of this saga is Celadon Forest, very red and very creepy. New music by Jongar, and iconic story characters. Definitely an intro. Second part is a series of dungeon adventures, climaxing into what most players will really want. You really liked Ashfall, according to the survey. We did our best to follow the tempo and build up. Originally, Part 1 would be released, and then the following month, Part 2. But they've decided to merge them together and do a much bigger release. With the delays... Then the delays came, and they're thinking of releasing and expanding Part 1 ASAP, and then Part 2 as quickly after as possible. Barring no more surprises, next week should be the dog release. The following week should, cross your claws, be release of Extended Nullgath Part 1, which includes 5 NPCs and challenges around the map that are not part of the main storyline. So that's a fairly significant release, which that should be interesting. So that's only a couple weeks away.
Cool.
That is pretty neat. The next thing they've got here, they talk about new classes. So this is a lot to take in. So it says here, Few weeks. It's only been a few weeks since the team went all in on making new classes. There are 17 classes we wrote on the board that we really want to make. Let that sink in. 17 new classes.
Wow.
Some are easier to build than others. We wanted to release 2 classes with Sandsea, and I'm pretty mad that it did not materialize. Those two classes have been re-envisioned. Everything is subject to change, but one will be a life-leeching healer. And after hearing your feedback, the next bow class needs a different name than Assassin.
Mm-hmm.
We have one coder almost dedicated to classes. Samurai is the furthest along, and there's even an art preview in the other post about the Samurai.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking like, obviously they don't have them all fleshed out yet, but on the board, 17 classes that they're interested in making.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite a lot. Quite a lot.
It is.
Next up, Skull Punch Island Caldera Challenge. We kind of know about this, but we'll go over it as well. So there was a bug in the challenge, allowed players to be invincible. Needless to say, they quickly fixed the bug. It resulted in the boss being way easier than intended. Yeah, we could tell.
We know.
The following week, the mechanic was fixed to work as intended, but then the real problem started. There's a specific strategy to beating the boss, which we know what it is. Now, which is, tilt the platform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're looking forward to the new healer, so no new healer yet? Not yet, yeah. It sounds like Samurai will be, maybe next, because it's so far along, but we'll see.
It said around, continue reading it.
Oh, okay.
I have
Right. Well, yeah, I didn't read the Samurai post separately to tell, but... let's see, it says... So the players who first experienced the boss without the strategy being needed were in for a big shock. So without knowing how to beat the boss, it feels unbeatable.
What about the mechanic? What about the mechanics?
Right, exactly.
The boss too heavy. What about the mechanic?
Yeah. Communication on this change was already really bad. Half the team was sick. The coders thought they were patching a bug to intended gameplay. In the future, we must do a mini news post here to explain situations like this. Fair enough. I mean, anybody that played that first round of that boss knows that it was too easy.
Oh, it was too easy, and
Yeah.
it was doing 0 damage to us.
Mm-hmm. And it's not like... So, now, according to this post, it says... let me read this. It said, allowed players to be invincible anywhere in the game if they did a series of things in the challenge.
Yeah, we played it. We didn't play it during that.
Okay.
We played it when it was the second phase, when it was doing 0 damage to us.
Right. Apparently, there was a big bug there where, once you became invincible there, you could then leave and be invincible elsewhere in the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge problem. But it got fixed.
That's good.
Yeah. Moving on. It says main storyline. Prior to our onslaught of problems, I'm involved in outlining the revamped main story. Dage and the team has worked on the art revamp of the characters. This is going to be the highest priority once Nullgath Saga is up and running. Vision for the main storyline is to run it in between the sagas. That is, every time you complete a saga, light up the portal in the center of town, you'll be able to proceed to the next part of the main story with Vayne and the Void Horrors. Okay. So back and forth between the saga and the main story with Vayne. I'm down with that. That's kind of nice.
Okay.
Let's see. Intro revamp number 999. Yeah. Along with a revamped main storyline, we will once again need to adjust the intro. Oh my god. That's about right. It's been revamped, what, 2 or 3 times now?
Yeah, I remember when they first did it, was the whole bunch of guardians were killing skeletons.
Skeletons, yeah. Yep.
They made it so you yeeted in the battle on, but they changed it so you yeeted in Green Guard.
Right.
And I think they changed it so you yeeted in Dragonfall Keep. Never.
Right. Dante says, first I soloed the boss when the patch came out, knew nothing about it. Still did it. Got a guitar weapon as a reward. Oh, nice.
Nice.
Awesome.
Hey, Dante's waiting for the hitter because he's a tank.
Right on. Some other stuff here. Let's see. Unreleased items. the cosmetic cutter from this week's release, the one we've been building towards today. Unreleased item from an older release. There's been a lot of call for the release of some items that did not make the release. This includes a bunch of unreleased Sandsea stuff. So I guess we'll see that as part of the updates to come.
Nullgath, maybe.
Yeah.
Because you saw the pictures and there was a wasteland area.
Right.
Little portal and a monster there, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff on the horizon, for sure.
Yeah.
It says here, Photoshop 3D, and then it shows X-Eyes. It says here, behind the scenes, one of our biggest woes, Photoshop dropping its 3D painting support. Entire team had been texturing 3D items with it. At some point, we'll have to move to Subsurface Painter. So it's a little bit of a behind-the-scenes thing, but yeah, unfortunate. I know anytime we have tech issues because things change is a headache, having to learn new stuff.
Yeah. I heard Photoshop is going to be free, but online browser.
Oh, wow. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. How are they going to make their money then? They're just going to sell it to, like, companies or what?
It'd be like
will you, like pay to unlock features or?
Yeah, I think you might be paid to unlock features or something like that.
Right.
Or
so it'll be a service. Can't say as I blame them. Can't say as I blame them.
I mean, it's a cool idea. Have it instead of having everything. It's on a web browser.
That's crazy. It's weird to think that will work in a web browser now. Speaking of tech upgrades, their next point is Unity 2022. It says the game client is coded in C# using Unity. While Unity has long-term support for older versions, every once in a blue moon it becomes a requirement. Port everything to a newer version. It's that time once again. When it does happen, we need to freeze the dev server for about a week while Zoom does the upgrade and converts every asset in the game. Last time we did this, we secretly pre-added a release to run during it. So, more behind-the-scenes tech stuff they have to learn. Hunt continues for a senior-level Unity C programmer. Coding team is maxed. Desperate need of one to build any new features, like housing. Interesting. Yeah. Hackers and DDoS. It says nearly 2 years ago, invested heavily in protecting servers. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
It was so bad we actually played Lord of the Rings online.
Yeah. Non-stop DDoS attacks. Little over a week ago, we changed a URL of one of our APIs, put it outside of the Cloudflare protection. The hackers went to town on it. Got slammed with over 730,000 attacks, but this is nothing compared to the old days. This has been fixed now. Player support is notified to be on the lookout for any problems. Also, and more dangerous, attackers regularly create fake websites that ask you to log in with your AQ Worlds, AQ3D, or other game accounts. Do not. Never, ever enter your password or username on anything but the official site and the game. Rule number 1, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Yep.
Yeah. Housing? Yeah, exactly. They're looking for somebody to help code housing. So, there you go. Sorry, go ahead.
Go on.
Oh, I'm just going to go to the next point.
Yep. Continue.
All right, level cap says through the full Nullgath saga, the level cap will slowly rise to 40. This is where the big challenge fights will start.
They said every expansion, the level cap will increase by 5.
And it says this is where the big challenge fights will start, and there will be new capstones.
Yep.
That's fairly significant news.
Yes, it is.
Big challenge fights, capstones, yeah. Lolosia Part 4. Talk Like a Pirate Day finale. It says here, former AQ3D writer returned to write the finale of Lolosia. That's pretty big. Possibly too big to do correctly in time for Talk Like a Pirate Day. It says here...
Oh,
go ahead.
You know who was a former writer?
I don't know.
Cicero wrote Dark Curse. Remember before he left? So Cicero might be writing it, maybe.
Gotcha.
I'm just guessing.
Oh, okay.
We're going to answer, but...
Well, it says here... sorry. Yeah.
Go on. Sorry.
I'm just going to continue with what they have to say here. Okay. So they have two options. Number 1 is to attempt to do the super big release. Number 2, do the samurai-themed release for Talk Like a Pirate Day, and move Lolosia after Mogloween when we will have more time.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So they're deciding how they want to pull, how they want to do this. They'd like to have it for Talk Like a Pirate Day, but they're not sure it's going to be ready.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on that?
I say let them take their time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean,
don't want a broken release.
Yeah, it sounds, like, oh yeah, timing wise, oh yeah, please release the pirate thing during the Pirate Day, but
It'd be nice, but
truth be told, I'd rather it be late than broken.
Right.
So, yeah, stuff happens.
Trust me, we don't want a time change to happen on Adventure Quest 3D. You know what happened when that happened?
Yes.
Everything froze.
Yeah. Oh,
Everything
Yeah.
froze.
that was an ugly
Right.
that was an ugly time.
That wasn't good.
20th anniversary, it says. Mogloween is a favorite time
Yeah.
of year for many of us. This is going to be extra special. This October, Artix Entertainment will be celebrating its 20th anniversary. Wow, that hits me right in the old.
20 years.
20 years of Artix Entertainment. Oh my God, what have I done with my life?
Yeah, the company was made in 2002. I mean, you could be going bald like Asmongold, like by playing WoW only.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. We are plotting something fun for AQ3D to do alongside the other games. It is scary how fast it is approaching. Oh,
it
so
is.
just dropping a little teaser there.
Mhm.
Plotting something fun for AQ3D to do alongside the other games. I don't know. Time to speculate, I guess. But there we go. Let's see. What is this? So question. Oh, this is about the weapon, the new weapon, the Cosmic Cutter. How sharp does a katana need to be to cut through the cosmos? That's how sharp the item is. It was just released. Well, I mean, considering it has the highest attack in the game right now, that's pretty sharp.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Lots to talk about there. Was there something... Actually, I'm going to click on the Samurai class post.
I'll fight like the swords or daggers.
Let's see. Was there something in the Samurai post that we wanted to talk about?
Yeah. You can.
I didn't say I didn't like them. I just said it just didn't look anything special.
Oh, there's a dragon set. That's interesting.
Yeah. Let's take a gander at it.
Yeah. Class's story revolves around an Eastern-style dragon.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. It'll be the advanced special set, hopefully obtained through a special spiritual journey to connect with the dragon spirit for the Samurai class. Likely the first of the new classes we are building to go live. It's just the furthest along in terms of coding. In addition to art previews, we should also do class skill preview posts as well. Bits of a story meeting, and it filled me with joy hearing how excited everyone was for it. Everyone on the team agrees each class needs a lore-based story in the game. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. When will Samurai be released? Some team members say mid-July. Realistically, we should expect some form of testing to begin around that time. Okay. Enjoy sharing the art with you. Seeing it is one of the biggest motivators to work on the game. And then they have a question if you like the light or the heavy armor instead. And then they show the pictures.
And scroll down. Scroll down at the comment section.
Okay. Oh, I need to enable JavaScript for
sorry.
it.
Yeah,
hold on,
sorry,
I'll get it.
No,
I'll do it. Give me just a second.
Comment.
I'll enable it. Let's see what else. There. Comments. It's trying to load. Give it a second. Well, it's loaded Discuss, but wait, is it the sidebar? What is that? No, those are just tweets.
It should be at the bottom. Where?
It's not. Yeah, the Discuss
Where?
comments aren't loading for me.
Where? Anyway, I comment on there. I said both.
It says it's taking longer than usual. Yeah, it's
That's
it's
weird.
broke.
Okay, never mind.
It's broke for me, apparently.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Anyway, I comment on there. It says I said both.
Both. Yeah, right. Which do you like? Both. Oh, I see. Here we go. They loaded. It took a minute. You got a post here? Both, please. Nice. Just looking to see. I think the one on the far right looks the most like what I would think a samurai looks
both.
like.
I legit want both.
But they both look good. They do both look good. That's cool. Nice. Let's see. We do have a couple of Florida woman stories tonight, but I want to cover before we get to those. I want to cover some personal stories. So I went a couple weeks ago. I was down the street at a neighbor's garage sale, and I picked up some things there. One thing they had was a small guitar amplifier, and the guy there, he asked me if I wanted another one, because he's got at least one more. And I'm like, well, don't tempt me, you know. But then he goes and he says, he's like, oh, so you play? I'm like, well, yeah, I play guitar, and my cousin, he plays guitar and keyboard. And he's like, you like guitars? Like, yeah, of course I like guitars. He says, hold on a minute. And he goes inside and he comes back out and he's got like a Fender Telecaster style guitar.
Right on.
And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And it's got this kind of wood, this like wood with like a burned, like a wood burning, almost kind of, not really a design as much as just kind of like a random look to it, like a natural kind of burn pattern into it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. It doesn't say Fender like on the head or anything, like on the stock. But it's very much looks like a Fender, and he says I built this. I'm like, wait, what?
Wow.
He goes, yeah, and he says I've got like 60 more downstairs.
What?
He builds guitars.
Awesome.
Yeah. In fact, he's got 3 guitars that are basically identical. 2 more to the one that I saw. And the body of these 3 guitars was made out of an old table that was thrown away at like a secondhand store dumpster. A table. It was like this thick table, and he saw it and was like, wow, I bet I could make guitars out of that. And so he talked to somebody and pulled the table out of the dumpster. Yeah, they were getting, it was going to go away anyway. They were throwing it out.
That's awesome.
And he cut them and made guitar bodies. Even better, while not technically a Fender guitar, most of the parts are basically Fender. The back plate that puts the neck to the body is actually a Fender plate. The neck is technically Fender as well. It just doesn't have all the markings on it. And the reason why I know that it's Fender is because he was telling me he actually has a connection and he gets the stuff like pretty much at cost, as opposed to like the inflated prices. It just doesn't have all the special, bells and whistle like logos and stuff on it. It's essentially a Fender guitar. And on top of it, because he does know electrical work so well, he actually modified the guitar so that instead of having 3 settings for like the pickups, he actually split one of the pickups into 2 separate, so it has 5 settings instead of 3. So it's a custom Fender guitar.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, that's amazing. So that was pretty cool.
A guitar gig,
right? Yeah, I know a guy that can like, and he told me like I was telling him that like I have an amplifier, like 100 watt, and I had it in my basement back where I used to live, and unfortunately I didn't know about this until I moved. I didn't realize that water actually came in and seeped down and like into that area and like rotted out the bottom of the amplifier.
Oh, wow.
Now, I don't think any of the electrical components have been damaged. I think it just rotted out the bottom like wood of it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't plugged it in to find out. I just haven't had time, It's not high on my priority list of things to do. So, it's like I found out it was wood rot in the bottom. Like, basically, it was, like, falling apart in the bottom. But, like, everything else looks okay. So, my guess is, if I can just fix that, and he's like, no problem, man. He says, bring it over one day. We'll fix it. Like, yeah. That's pretty cool. Good guy. Heard another interesting story last week while I was waiting for a bus. I was talking with somebody, just somebody sitting waiting for a bus, and I don't remember how we got on the topic. We were just talking about all kinds of different stuff. Oh, I do remember now. We were talking about like how some places have drama and whatnot. And she was telling me that, she's like, oh, this town definitely has its fair share of, weird stuff. She was telling me that a few years ago, over the last, 5 years, I guess, police have been busting up massage parlors in town.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A couple years ago, they got rid of one that was underneath a church, a Catholic church. Now, I don't know if it's an active church or if it was like an old church that nobody, right, and they've been doing it in the basement or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, but I just think that's like, of all the places to have something like that underneath a church. Like, it'd be weirder if it was even like an active church. Could you imagine that?
Yeah, that would be even weirder, yeah.
Right? Guy walks into confessional and he's like, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. And the priest is like, what is your sin, my son? Well, I was downstairs just a moment ago, and say no more. In fact, I got a 2:00 appointment. Let's make this quick. Oh,
and don't forget, I got a discount coupon.
Yeah, I get a discount coupon. Yeah. I just thought that was funny. Like, oh my gosh, of all places to have a house of ill repute, let's put it. Oh goodness. Yeah. Well, moving on from that, we'll go to some more crazy stuff. How about some Florida man, in this case Florida woman. We got a double feature here. Check this out. Click Orlando. Mom accused of threatening Cocoa High School over lunch portion. Family says. That's right. Anaya Matoya Smith, 41, is accused of leaving school threatening voicemails. She made a bomb threat. She's accused of making a bomb threat to Cocoa High School months ago. Left the school a voicemail threatening over her son's school lunch portions, according to a police affidavit. Records show Anaya Matoya Smith, 41, booked at the Brevard County Jail. Probable cause affidavit filed by Cocoa Police April 7th says Smith left a voicemail with Cocoa High School evening of February 3rd threatening to blow that mother expletive up over the amount of food her son was being given at lunch.
Wow.
Voicemail was just one of 4 bomb threats made to the school from February to March, prompting an FBI investigation after police found 2 of the threats were made outside of Florida. Smith's son, who's no longer at the school by the time the April 7th affidavit was filed, had been in a verbal argument with a cafeteria worker the day the threat was made because he wanted extra food, the police said. An officer who claimed to have had numerous encounters with Smith as recent as January said he recognized her voice from the message on the answering machine. Smith faces a felony charge, false report to bomb state property, and misdemeanor charge of interfering with school administrative functions. Smith bonded out of the Brevard County Jail. She embraced her sister, who told News 6 Smith was misidentified. Says she's been falsely accused based on documentation that was messed up at Cocoa High School. Says the phone number on the school caller ID is not Smith's number. News 6 called the number listed in the police report, but it was out of service. That could have been a burner phone. Yep. Smith's family also claimed the student named in the arrest report is not Smith's son. It's all going to be cleared up, and we're going to take care of her, but there are definitely some people who need to be held accountable. This is not the way it's supposed to go. When asking to interview Cocoa police about the allegations, News 6 was told no comment beyond the report. Wow.
Wow.
I don't know what to think about whether or not they got the wrong person. It is kind of strange though that they're saying that it's the wrong student. But conflicting with that is the person that identified her voice. So take that for whatever it's worth. All I know is that filing bomb threats for complaining about school lunch seems a little overboard.
Well, that's Florida, so
It's Florida man or woman in this case.
Do you know why? Why stuff like that actually gets reported easier in Florida, right?
Yeah, there's laws that publicize them.
Yep.
They put a law into place that makes these stories public, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This kind of stuff happens in everywhere. Like, there's technically, weird stuff like this all over the place, but it gets publicized because of their laws. That's why Florida man is a thing. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep. It was done on purpose. They knew that the result of this would be people talking about it and basically shaming them publicly, kind of like what we're doing right now.
All right.
They knew that was the result of it, is that people would talk about it, and it's like, it's to, like, so the design, the intent is to kind of shame people into not wanting to be Florida man. Right?
And it's so much that we even got a shirt.
Right? Well, oddly enough, though, the reverse has happened in some cases. Remember, only a couple months ago, we had a story where somebody, was proud to say they were Florida man doing bad stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so, I don't know. That's Florida man for you, though. At least they're proud. At least they're proud of it.
Keep them coming.
Right?
To keep the stories.
That's right. It gives us something to talk about with story time. Speaking of which, one more here. High 15 gave us this one from the Free Press, Tampa Free Press. Trip to the hospital or jail. Florida sheriff unloads after woman throws hot water on an officer. Florida woman has been arrested after throwing hot water onto an animal enforcement officer. Brevard County, and again, Brevard County, Sheriff's Office Animal Enforcement Officer Hunter Reuter responded to a resident's Palm Bay check on the well-being of a dog that allegedly was not being properly cared for. When Reuter knocked on the door, the homeowner, Renice Amiziel, opened the door, ordered Reuter to get off her property, then slammed the door in her face, according to investigators. The officer began to walk away from the front door, at which time Amiziel reopened the front door, threw hot water onto Reuter's back, causing her to receive burns to her back. Reuter immediately called police deputies to respond to the scene, at which time Brevard County Sheriff's Office deputies and officers from the police department responded to assist. City of Palm Bay police officers took over the investigation. Amiziel was subsequently transported to the county jail on a no-bond status for aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer. Let me be clear in saying, if you put your hands on one of my team or try to hurt them by any means, you're going to get exactly what you deserve, regardless if that's a trip to the hospital or a trip to jail, said the sheriff, Wayne Ivey. Folks, there are a lot of things that frustrate me in this world, but one thing that makes my blood boil: someone to try and hurt one of my team. These brave men and women are out here every day working to keep our community safe. Some scumbag like this woman tries to permanently injure one of them. Here's a simple rule: don't put your hands on one of my deputies or team members unless you're willing to suffer the consequences, said Ivey. Ivey added that Reuter is expected to make a full recovery, and a check on the dog at the suspect's home revealed that it was not in harm's way. Mm-hmm. Interesting. So that was all, this could have been avoided if she would have just let the officer come in and inspect, because it says here nothing was wrong.
Right.
Instead, she decided to have a hissy fit and throw hot water on the officer. Good job, Florida man. Good job. By that I mean terrible job.
Not good.
Yep. Classic Florida man stuff right there. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm-mm. Bob threats over school lunches and throwing water on an office. Hot water. Enough to burn the officer.
Yep.
Over what was essentially nothing because the dog was... Once they investigated, everything was fine. Oh, jeez, people.
Right.
Crazy.
All right. Well, I think with that, we've had more than enough
Mm-hmm.
story time for the night.
I think we should take a small break.
Yeah, we'll take a break. We'll set our stuff over to golf with your friends, I think. And we're gonna play some golf with friends for the rest of the night. We could grind the rest of this, but I don't think a lot of us are feeling it. We'll do it offline or something.
Yeah, do it offline or something.
Get a little free time because there's really not much else to see. It'll just be us killing the same aliens over and over and over again until we get 5 of each of the chunks. Yeah. It's not very exciting. It's not like it's a boss fight with mechanics and stages.
Yeah.
I just want to give you
No.
a heads up that it's here, and
Yeah, it's a good weapon.
Yeah.
It's worth doing.
It is.
It just doesn't feel like something to It doesn't seem that
Stream
entertaining to stream. Yeah, we see it. We know what it is. So
So once we get geared up, once you get a high enough power level, we'll do the raid for lulls
yeah,
for the fun of it.
right. Sounds good. Okay, so I'm gonna
Since
go
we don't
ahead
need
and
to do it.
I'm just gonna go back to my start screen here,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna
Right.
exit out of the game. Oh yeah, you know what?
Pick up
Before I do
the
that, hold on. One more thing. I'm gonna bring back here. Open my daily chest. I didn't do that yet.
Yeah.
Pop that open, see what I get. The dragon crystals, good. Red travel trail and
I think that was the update.
stock
Oh,
belt.
there's a new map for golf for friends too. I think.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
We're gonna go ahead and
But it'll be available
destroy
on
the
June
belt
21st.
there. All right.
You got fucked back.
The
Yeah.
Bouncy Castle House.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Oh,
If
awesome.
you look at the changelog.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and exit out of AQ3D, and then we will
New hats and all that.
Yeah.
put my music on, and we'll
Wipeout.
get the next game and everything set up. I'll do that when I get back. We'll get everything set up for the next for golf with friends. So we'll see everybody in just a moment.
Cool.
Yeah.